Most people go their entire lives believing lies about money. They work hard, save a little, and hope for the best, only to realise they're still struggling years later. The truth is that the rich play by a different rule book, rules that no one teaches you in school. That's why in this video, I am going to be breaking down 7 harsh truths that no one teaches you at school. And how have I learned them? From reading from some of the best financial writers and successful businessmen in the industry. Once you understand them, you'll never look at money in the same way again. The first truth, and possibly one of the biggest revelations for myself when I learned to embrace it, is that time is your greatest asset, not money. And this is from one of my favourite books, The Millionaire Fastlane by MJ DeMarco. And he explains that wealth isn't just about money, but it is also about freedom. You could be earning all of the money in the world, but if you don't have the freedom all the time to be able to enjoy it, then what's really the point? Most people trade their time for money, but the rich use their money to buy back time. A simple example is that Jeff Bezos doesn't mow his own lawn. He instead pays someone to do it so he can regain that time back and focus on the bigger picture things. The biggest lesson that I took from this is to audit my time. Is that time I am spending on that certain thing enabling me to make money? Or is it instead wasting my time? Where I can, I outsource low value tasks, which in turn then enables me to dedicate that time to improving my high earning skills or focus on generating additional money. The second truth is saving alone won't make you rich. You can't save your way to wealth. You have to invest. And this snippet comes from the book Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. And in this book, he emphasizes that saving is just the first step. Investing is instead what builds wealth. And he also explains how inflation quietly erases our wealth over time. Every year, our money becomes less and less valuable, with inflation eating away at your savings. For example, if you saved $10,000 in the year 2000, it is technically worth less today due to inflation. The general recommendation is that you should be investing 10 to 20% of your salary into some form of investment or savings. If you're not too sure where to start, index funds is always a good first route of call. The key takeaway from this is make your money work for you, even whilst you sleep. Truth number 3, debt can either make or break you. In the words of Robert Kiyosaki in the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, is that there is good debt and there is bad debt. Know the difference. In the book, Kiyosaki clearly breaks down the differences between good and bad debts and stresses how rich people in fact leverage debt to enable them to grow their wealth, whilst instead middle and poor class people drown in their consumer debts. A bad debt is considered something that costs you money, such as credit cards, consumer loans, car loans. Good debt, on the other hand, is considered something that enables you to build wealth and gain more money, such as real estate, business investments, or assets. My tip on this one is to avoid debt on depreciating assets, such as a car, and instead to use debt strategically, aka for things that will generate you cash flow. Number 4, your job will never make you rich. And this lesson comes from one of my favourite books, which is the 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss. And he describes a salary as being a slow path to financial freedom. Yes, you may get there, but it probably won't be until you're in your mid-60s, if not older. Ferriss argues that traditional 9-to-5 jobs keep people trapped in the cycle of trading their time for money. And he instead argues that building true wealth comes from building passive income streams. There is a natural misconception or assumption that a high-paying job equals wealth, whereas the reality is that your boss is actually just paying you enough to just about stop you from quitting. As I have said earlier in this video and in several of my other videos, it's not just about having a salary. it is about acquiring assets. And I want to set you a challenge. If you are serious about starting your journey of wealth, then I challenge you to create one additional stream of income this year and see how it changes your life. The next truth is that taxes favour the wealthy. And in the book Tax-Free Wealth by Tom Wheelwright, he states that the rich don't pay more taxes, they pay smarter taxes. He explains how the tax system is designed to both reward business owners, entrepreneurs, and investors, not employees. And in his book, he breaks down some really useful tax strategies to help someone pay less taxes. Examples of this in real life is a company like Amazon. They pay, in the grand scheme of things, relatively little in taxes, and that is because they know and understand the tax code. The middle class, however, just work and get taxed the most out of anyone else. My biggest tip here is to educate yourself. Wherever you live in the world, make sure that you are giving yourself the resources to fully understand your tax system and understand how you can legally leverage it. One example might be simply starting up a business or a side hustle so you can leverage some of the tax benefits that gives to you. As always, do your own research. Truth 6. School doesn't teach you financial success. School teaches you to be a good employee, not to be wealthy. This is a quote from the book Why A Students Work for C Students, another great book from author Robert Kiyosaki. And in the book, he explains how schools and institutions teach children to be good employees, not entrepreneurs or investors. As a result, most people graduate with zero financial education, meaning that they are not well prepared to go into the world and make real-world money decisions. For example, you learn in great detail algebra, history, literature, but not how to invest, budget, or negotiate. 78% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck, and I expect a high proportion of those people have never been taught any money skills. The thing that separates the wealthy from these types of people is that they have taken the time to educate themselves, whether that be through books, mentors, or just first-hand experience. My tip to anyone who wants to improve their financial knowledge is to take the time to educate themselves. There is so much resource out there, even free resource. Utilize it and leverage it. And then the final harsh truth: if you don't control your money, someone else will. And I love this quote from the book Total Money Makeover by Dave Ramsey. If you don't tell your money where to go, it disappears. And really what he means is that people who don't track their money and don't effectively budget normally live paycheck to paycheck, with him also emphasizing on the importance of both budgeting, getting yourself out of debt, and taking control of your financial future. And without a plan, your money flows to others, your landlord, your bank, your bills. For example, there are a disproportionately high number of both lottery winners and athletes that have gone broke after having substantial amounts of money. And why is that? It's because they never learnt how to manage wealth. So what should you do? Firstly, make a financial plan of your income. Understand where your money is going every single month, and then you can look at opportunities to adjust this. And secondly, be intentional with your spending. Track it closely. Cut any unnecessary expenditure. And finally, invest wisely. These are money truths that no one teaches you until it's potentially too late. So I hope by watching this video and learning them now, you can utilize that knowledge to make sure that it doesn't happen to you. Thank you so much for watching the video, and I will see you in the next one.